Welcome to the Jay Tyner Show, where we discuss all things wealth management and retirement planning. And as always, the goal of our team here at Semmax Financial Group is to help you focus more on your life and less on your money. Now, as a reminder, check with your current advisor, planner, CPA, and read our disclosure in the video description below. Subscribe to this channel if you want to stay up to date on all of our new content. And by the way, if you have questions or need a 15-minute free consultation, please visit semmax.com or call 336-856-0080.
Hello and welcome. My name is Matt Landon. I'm joined by Jordan Shinsky, and today we're going to be talking about charitable giving, a little bit about the basics of giving, and we're going to start off with the ground rules. Ground rules being, where do we begin? What do you need to understand? What's number one? What's the most basic ground rule for charitable giving?
Get a receipt. If you're going to be donating, if you're going to be doing charitable giving, if you're going to be tithing to your church, get a receipt for it. You can't report it. You can't take advantage of it, tax deductions or whatnot, without having that confirmation that the event occurred.
I agree, and that's where I think it's great to drop cash in the plate, but at the same time, you might want to do it in a way that the treasurer at your church or something along those lines is able to record it. That way you're able to realize that gain. Mm-hmm. Now, next one is to get an independent written appraisal. That's for gifts or property in excess of $5,000 or $10,000 if it's a closely held stock. Maybe think a privately held company and you're gifting that stock in some way or fashion. You don't need an appraisal if you're doing exchange-traded funds, mutual funds, stocks, bonds that are on an open exchange. However, if you have a piece of artwork that maybe has an appraisal value of $15,000, you need to get that independent appraisal done in order to verify that. You can't just personally decide your child's artwork is worth $15,000. I know you've got some talented kids, but you can't just put that down and say, Dad says it's worth this much, therefore it is. Yep. You got to get that independent appraisal.
Well, or even something like, let's say you have a plot of land that you want to donate to the church or something of that nature.
Correct.
You have to get that appraisal to understand what the fair market value is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. Now, what's this about subtract the value of benefits?
Right. So within what you can deduct, okay, in a charitable donation, let's say you do so through an event. Your church or charity is having a dinner event, and you donate $500 to it. You have to deduct the value of what you receive from that event. So the meal, if there are prizes or anything of that nature that you may win, those type of things have to be deducted from what you can write off or deduct on your taxes.
Absolutely. And then also, you want to itemize your deductions on those tax returns. Now, this is where I think it's so important to speak with a CPA or a financial professional who's able to assist you on your tax return. Reason being, you may want to front-end load your gifting that you're planning on doing over the next couple of years into 1 year to capitalize on that full itemized deduction because the standard deduction is so high. So you want to be aware of what you're doing from a gifting standpoint, but also if you are doing that gifting, get the maximum benefit you can. I'd much rather those funds go to a charity than go to Uncle Sam. So let's make sure we itemize. Mm-hmm. Now, what's next?
You have to be aware of the annual deduction limits.
Wait a minute. I can't just give it all away?
No, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
This is in reference to, no, you can give away whatever you want.
Okay.
But in reference to taking advantage of tax deductions, what you can write off. If you're giving away cash, you have the best opportunity. You can deduct up to 60% of your AGI that you file for the year. But if you're giving away things like physical property or stocks or anything of that nature, you can only deduct up to 30%. Now, you can take that valuation and push it forward for the next 5 years if you go beyond that 30% or 60% limit. But if you're going to maximize the opportunity within the course of that tax year, you have to be aware of what you're going to be filing for your AGI to make sure that you're within those limits of deductibility.
Now, this is where you can get creative, and let's say you're falling outside of that limit, but taxes are changing, you want to go ahead and do some Roth conversions. This is where you might want to be working with that tax professional and with a team that's looking at things not just from a what do I want to gift, but also how do I avoid taxes and how do I maximize the gift that you're giving. We really want to plant seeds that are going to reap a bountiful harvest for you in the best way possible.
That's a great example.
Now, when it comes to cash, I know we already mentioned it, but like you said, up to 60%, hold on to that receipt. But volunteering, you can't deduct your time.
Right.
But what can you deduct?
Expenses in relation to it. So let's say the gas that you spend to and from an event. If you have expenses if you are putting on a dinner or something like that, that kind of stuff can be written off. But you cannot deduct your time. If you spend all day working an event, or if you spend all day in working with a charity or a church, you can't write that off.
Yeah. So I hope this has been somewhat helpful. I know that oftentimes charity and gifting and things of that nature can be confusing. We're going to do a part 2 where we give you a little bit more specific examples and dive into the minutia just a little bit. So we hope you stay tuned and enjoy that as well. But at the very beginning, I hope you take away this. Whether you do it for tax purposes, whether you do it from an altruistic sense of caring, I think that gifting is an incredibly powerful tool. And I feel very strongly that the more you give, the more you get. Now, that may not be financial. We talk about finances a lot, but when you're gifting your time, when you're gifting your belongings, when you're doing things for the benefit of others, it's amazing. The better it makes you feel.
Right.
So with that said, on behalf of Semmax, Jordan, myself, we hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.